Hey guys, welcome to Kipoerneke's Corner. I left a screen up there accidentally at the start, but that's alright. Hopefully everyone is doing well. I'm back in EverQuest Legends over here. And I've done a little bit since I was last in, not a whole lot, but I did do some cooking and brewing of things. Got my faction up a little bit with the people here in, like, the merchants themselves. There's one place we can turn in stuff to for sure. And then there's, basically, let me see, I have a list written here somewhere. It's Spiderling Eye, Ruined Wolf Pelt, Bone Chips, and Bat Fur. And there's a dude you can turn that into and get your faction up with the Kelethin folks a little bit, specifically the merchants. I still can't talk to a lot of the people. I can talk to the bank, which is not over here, but because I guess looks like I'm currently at the brewing station. So yeah, I can't talk to most people, but I can talk to some. Getting a little bit better on all of that. Let's see if we go to faction or / faction here. Let's go to EverQuest, and then if I could remember the names, it would help a lot. Let's see. Emerald Warriors. That's one of the places you go, is the Emerald Warrior area. And you can turn in stuff to them. I think that's the one that you turn in, is Spiderling Eye and all that too, and get your faction up a little bit with a variety of different people. So if you're trying to do that, that's one way to do it. I have plans on live actually to basically get out of the tutorial, do the very basic bare minimum in Ogre, and then to head this direction, because I know that a couple of people that I'm going to want to play with are going to be over here in this area. So my plan is to do that, and then come over here and start faction building right away. And hopefully, sorry about all the throat clearing, but hopefully that will work out decently. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, I suppose. Let's go ahead and search for some recipes and see if I can make anything. Kind of don't think that I have the materials. I just got a pot of water though, so that'll help a little bit. But I don't know that I have the materials to make anything. I think probably I automatically consumed that pot of water because I didn't have anything that I was drinking, and so it probably just took it as soon as it appeared. It looks like that to me. I don't see it anywhere in here. Too bad. And I don't know if I don't know how well the pot of water does for satiating thirst. I still have this bottle of Kalish. I don't actually know what it is. It looked fancy. I didn't realize that it was an alcohol, but now I'm kind of thinking it probably is an alcohol because I've not auto-consumed it, and it's just still sitting there. And I think that the bottle of Kalish does not auto-consume. And that was another thing that I had forgotten to say. I think I had forgotten to say the other day about ogres that I've learned, is that you consume food and drink. I want to say twice the rate of other people's food and drink consumption. I could be wrong. Something like that. I think you consume more food and drink, bottom line. Alright, let's see. I doubt that I can make anything. Again, like I said, for one thing, let's turn on the personal depot just in case. But I don't have any water flasks left. So I do have tons of water flasks as it turns out. Never mind, ignore that entirely. I forgot I had a bunch in my depot. So in that case, we're gonna go back through things because maybe I can make something after all. Looks like I don't have any bottles. Now, here's a question. If you need a bottle, okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, maybe for the alcohols, you would need bottles or casks. Cask makes sense for the ale. So if it has a bottle requirement, does that mean it's an alcohol? Maybe. I'm going with a solid maybe on that. It feels right. Water flask would imply, or okay, that's ale though. So okay, you need a cask. Yes, all right. This is another ale. You need a cask. Cod oil is not. No cask required. Drake egg oil. That sounds, yeah, okay, all right. No bottle or cask. However, eggnog. Now, is this an alcoholic eggnog or is this a regular eggnog? Right. We do need a bottle. Needs aviac eggs and spices. So this feels like malted milk. Well, all right. Then there's eggnog XXX. That requires brandy. So we've got alcoholic and non-alcoholic, it looks like, on the eggnog front. And both of them require a bottle, so my theory is incorrect. What is this anyway? Morning dew and gnomish spirits to make elven spirits. So wait, hold on. So to make elven spirits, all you do is you take gnomish spirits and you add some morning dew. They just got up early that day. The gnomes pretty much just become elves if they get up early enough, lick some of the dew, they're good to go. All right, let's see here. We've got brewing barrel. That's what I'm using right now. And to make this embalming fluid. Why would I want embalming fluid? Do we drink embalming fluid? Surely not, right? Is it for a quest? And where does one get rubbing alcohol? I wonder if you get that from a merchant. I'm getting this notification about being out of drink every minute. That is insane. Unfortunate. All right, let's see. Moving forward, then. Thus far, I haven't found anything that I'll have enough of. I do have one of the fruits, and I have one of the berries, but I don't have two, so I can't make that. So far, drinks are not incoming. Unfortunately, I don't have any way to buy from most of these people yet because my faction is not high enough, and thus that will not work. Let's move forward a little, see if we can get any foraging done. So by the way, I also attached my foraging skill to my right movement key. And the reason that I did that is because whenever you're running forward at length, you don't keep pressing the W button. And so while running forward is a good one to have it on, it's really kind of insufficient because you're often not going to be using that button while going on a long run. Therefore, I stuck it on the right one because I didn't have anything on the right hand button, the right turn, and I will be using that as I run. Now, if only I had a bottle, I could make a water flask. I don't really need a water flask at this point, so no big deal. Okay, so nothing much that I can do here, looks like. I'll go ahead and put this sandwich up top. Slowly running lower on food. I won't say low, but running lower on food. Still have this, but I wonder how, okay, I wonder if it'll just make me incredibly drunk if I drink the bottle of Kalish, maybe. Alright, what do I want to do? Let's see, let's go try to find that emerald place again. And I think if we go here, maybe we can find it. Maybe not. I don't really remember the name of the guy we were talking to in there. I can tell you that it says emerald, like emerald warriors or something like that on the door that gets you to that guy. let's see here if we can just search this other way. What if we just type in emerald? Will that get us there? No such luck. Yeah, no, okay, it's not the... There's the rogue guild, the druid guild. Man, this is asking a lot of me to know these things. Let's just randomly choose one. Pretty sure it's not the druid guild. That's the druid guild. Ranger guild? Don't know. It's, this is Faydark's champions, so that's not it. You are not it. Okay, let's see. Let's go this way. Let's go around to the right over here. And then, well, what I want to do is go probably down there. And I think that's what I'm going to do, maybe. I'm thinking about it. Considering my options, I think so. We're gonna try this right here. This is the Song Weavers, Bard Guild, alright. Where else? This Rogue Guild in this direction. We're gonna run around until we find it. That's the main thing. None of these are right. So, onward. Alright, no, not that. And I don't think it's set off like that. I think it's something that's just like, it's got a name on it like this, but it says like Emerald Warriors or something like that. Doesn't look promising that direction. There's a pottery wheel over there. Can go this way. Back the way we came from. And then, let's see, where have I not tried yet as far as guilds go? I think I went to the Ranger Guild. There's a lift over there. Let's go this way here. And it's a warrior guild. Maybe that's it. Who knows? Who knows? We shall see. That's it. Emerald. It's called the Emerald Warriors. Wow. Yes. Okay. That would make sense to be the warrior guild called the Emerald Warriors. All right. Cool. Now, is this the right one? I'm not sure. It might be. And then there's the other question. Hold on. Before I even go all the way in. There's the question of, do I actually have these items on me? It's not 100% certain by any stretch of the imagination, actually. So I do have a spider eye for sure. Do I have a ruined wolf belt? Yes, I have one. How about some bone chips? Bone chips, I think, right there, yes. Okay, now bat fur is the only other questionable one. I don't actually recall what bat fur looks like, so I'm just going to... I have a couple of bat fur. Okay, so I do have at least one of each, so hopefully, if this is the right person, then I can show you. Gotta try to get in this door, though. It's a real trick as an ogre. Once I have the shrink spell, life is going to be amazing. We'll be able to go through doors, see in tunnels. It's going to be a whole new world. Until then, I'm going to struggle. Oh, but we made it. Life is good again. Okay. Was it this guy? I think it might have been Regrin, maybe so. So what we do is we take one of these and we pop it in onto him. That opens up the trade window. Then we do control and we grab one of these bat furs and a bone chip. Okay, so we got the wolf pelt, bat fur, bone chip, and then a spiderling eye, and give it to him, and that does it. So, as you can see, Faction with the Emerald Warriors went up by 5, and I think we're getting very close to, like, kindly from the Emerald Warriors at this point. Indigo Brotherhood hates us a little bit more, but most importantly, the Merchants of Felwith goes up by 5, and the Kelethin Merchants also goes up by 5. Now, what do we add with these merchants at this point? So, Merchants of Felwith, and also the Kelethin Merchants. Kelethin Merchants is still at threatening, still kind of hate us. 226 more points and we'll be at dubious. How exciting is that? Merchants of Felwith is here. They're at threatening and the same situation. We're 226 points from dubious. That's a long way to go before they don't just kind of want to kill us. Yeah, but hey, you know what? We're moving in the right direction. That's what really matters here. And it'll matter less, again, on this server, because this server isn't going to be around very much longer. But once we get to live, that's going to definitely come into play a lot more. And now I've got my list that I've written down here of what exactly we need. So next time, you know, again on live, it's going to make life much, much simpler. Above the chemist says, "You're not on Hellas server, right?" Nope, I'm on Nereak. I have a couple of shrink clickies from Black Bro that I'm not going to use, but I can't trade them off server, sadly. That would be amazing, but unfortunately, I don't have anything like that, and yeah, Nereak is the server of choice at the moment. One thing I've noticed is that this ogre is very durable as far as just like, watch this, I can just jump off. I can jump off from the higher level too. It does like maybe 40 points of damage. It's not bad. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. I could go kill some random things, I suppose. But yes, let's get some of these bone chips over here. Let's see, what am I on? Okay, I am on my adventuring bar, so that's a good thing. Guess I could have done tainted breath. Doesn't really matter too much. We need to see if anybody is on. I've only got 3 people on my friends list, I think. Let's see if any of them are currently on. Looks like Crow Magnon is on, but he's level 46, so I think he's probably kind of busy over there in the runs for Old Peniel. Don't think I can quite go there as a level 12, most likely. I mean, I could go there. I could walk around and get killed probably pretty quickly, I would imagine. So, we have no room in storage. We have, oh yeah, let's just sell this tooth. No need to have it. I don't think. Not at the moment anyway. It's a problem for another day. Oh yes. I forgot. I'm low on drink, so I'm not out of drink, actually, so may as well continue casting until I'm out of drink, right? And maybe by then, I'll run across a pot of water or something exciting. I have currently 1 pot of water. And, yeah, you know, just moving along and doing this foraging is probably going to be sufficient for pot of water reclamation. What do we have here? This is a giant wasp venom sack. Let's auto store that. That seems like a trade skilling type thing, doesn't it? Pixie wing, sure. We'll auto store that too. And then we've got a rusty shortened spear. Yeah, we'll loot that. I guess I could have gone and gotten some like my rusty stuff turned into ores, and that would have given me a little more room to work with in my inventory. That might have been a smart move. As it is, more than anything, I'm just going along gathering supplies. Because that way I can make some more, well, turn in these things to merchants, basically. I don't know how many goes of it it'll take, because I forgot already. 260, it's going to be quite a few of these different things that I will need in order to get my faction up enough to be able to trade with them, I think. But I'm thinking that if I come here at a lower level, it'll go pretty quickly. Because I'll be doing some killing of random things just to level as much as anything else. Having not very much room, I'm going to go ahead and just sell this cloth. But that's my my current thoughts on it are, if I get over here, then I can get in a group pretty quickly, and we can go do some Crushbone Keep. The Crushbone will get my faction up very fast, and I think that you can go into Crushbone pretty early on. So probably by the time I manage to make the run over here from Ogre, I'll be in a situation where I can start doing Crushbone, most likely. See if we can find any other things to slaughter out here. I don't really know where things are necessarily over here. Just kind of run around and see what I run into. Eventually, I'll learn, but it'll take a little while. And I've got to be a little bit careful because some of the guards around here, the ones here, actually don't hit me. I'm just a little nervous of guards in general, because this entire area is filled with things that don't love me. Now the question is, have I run out of my chosen drink yet? I don't think so, because the bar is still moving. So I should be good on that. And, you know, honestly, okay, I was gonna say I think I have a pod left, but it looks like I've already, yep, I've run out of my water pod there. Maybe I ought to hold on to my my remaining energy just in case I need it. So in that case, I'll just go run up to things and hit them with a stick. It'll take a little bit longer. Of course, I could just go to the bank and grab the water out. Maybe I should, because this is a lot faster to cast spells than hitting it with the stick is. Probably that's what I should do. Let's see. I don't remember exactly what the Drakelings drop. I feel like there's something that they drop that can be used for a food, but I cannot remember for sure. Maybe I should go and find a lift and go back up and make some, turn some rusty things into tarnished things and then turn them into, oh, here we are. It's, royal jelly that the wasp worker drops, and that's awesome. I don't remember if that was one of the ingredients, but it may have been. I mean, if it's not an ingredient in something I currently have, surely it will be an ingredient in something that I'll have in the future, right? One would think. Okay, there's a lift over here. Let's head toward that. Get up into Kelethin, and then we can go and find go and find the banker. The storm is kicked up outside, so hopefully the internet won't drop, but if it does, then I suppose I'll get in as soon as I can after that happens. Definitely it's storming pretty heavily out there. By the way, there is a button here. I know the first time I came here I thought there wasn't, because I ran up and the lift was coming down. Turns out that was just coincidental. So there's a button right here that you select on this pad, like the post that's there on that that ramp up. All right. So now, where is the bank, you ask? So do I. Where is the bank? Okay, banker. We'll turn this off, and then we'll follow the yellow wisp. And try, we gotta try to remember where this is. I'm not very good at it. I just kind of have to wander around a good deal before I can learn my way around. And Kelethin is just one of those places that I've never really been able to know. I think it all looks the same to me. I'm not sure why that is, but it's just always kind of been the way of it. If anybody knows the secret to getting indoors as a huge ogre, there we go, that did it. Feel free to let me know. Alright, here's our lovely banker. And what I think I want to do is pull out all my rusty stuff, whatever I have in here. And we can... Cannot be moved, yes, of course, because it's too big. Yes, yes, it would be. We'll go ahead and try everything in there, and whatever goes in is fine. If it doesn't, that is also fine. I think this is all my rusty stuff. And, so... That is an enchanted fine steel rapier. That's not rusty in the slightest. This is, however. Make sure, yep, it's a rusty spear. Excellent. Alright, so, if we have something that I already have up to level 4 or higher, I'm going to merge it, which I do. Rusty short sword, that's a broadsword. Reading is hard. So I don't have another of these. Alright. Where were we then? Just checking that one. Let's move this around. Actually, I want to put this in the small bag. Okay, we got a rusty spear. And this is a rusty spear +4, so let's try to combine those two. Oh, there's no try about it, I suppose. Let's merge those two. Alright. It's a rusty bastard sword. I don't think that I have a rusty bastard sword. Let's get out of that screen. And... doesn't look like I do. Oh, I got some roots. How cool. Those rusty knuckles. Let's move them down here where they're with the other rusty stuff. And, put all of our rusty things that we want to get rid of together, I think, would make sense. We've got a rusty shortened spear here. And I don't have another of those. Let's put it over here. I didn't realize I had cinnamon sticks. That's cool. I guess that was a recent acquisition. Okay, now, it's looking a bit more like it. So that is all the rusty stuff that I have right here. And this stuff I'll put back in unless it's less than +4. Which I don't think it should be, because I think that I was only putting the stuff in here, stocking the stuff, that was 4 or greater. Could have made a mistake pretty easily though, so checking it is never amiss. Okay, looks good. let's go turn this stuff into, well, maybe I should not be so hasty. Maybe I should come and look in the dragon's hoard. Okay, I don't think I have anything rusty in there. Certainly don't see anything rusty. I do have a spiderling eye, and I'll need those. So let's take out the spiderling eye, and yes, all of them, and stack them up there. Do I have any burned wolf pelts? No. How about bone chips? Might have some bone chips. No bone chips. Bat fur? No bat fur. Okay. So everything is golden. Kind of curious about how the trade skill depot is looking. I have a lot of things in the trade skill depot. I can throw in the fruit. You know what? I have bone chips in here. So if I need bone chips, this is a good idea to check in here. Do I have a ruined wolf pelt in here by chance? I do. I have a good number of them, as a matter of fact. Alright, let's grab those. Alright, let's see here. How about I make a little area over here for the 4 things that I need. Would have been smarter to put this in a 4-bag place, probably. Okay, so we've got the wolf pelt, spiderling eye, and the bone chips. We just need the bat fur. Do I have any bat fur? I don't. I have bat wings? No bat fur. What a shame. Okay. Alright, that's fine. I think this can go in here, though. And then we've got roots. Toss that in there. What else do we have? Cinnamon sticks can definitely go in there. I don't want to put the fishing bait in because I do, but I already have a bat fur. That's what I get from having it in the same area, right? Okay, so I think that's all the stuff that can go into the trade skill depot. Okay, not too shabby. Let's get out of there. And now I think I have everything that I need out of here. Let's see, make sure what's in here. Well, I guess I could take some of these, oh, no. Okay, I see, never mind. Ignore that. Ignore me, I'm crazy. Alright, now, got everything we could possibly need out of there for the moment. And now let's try to get through the door. It's the greatest trick in the world. Getting an ogre through a door. So what I find, and I don't know what part of this works, but what I find is that if I go up to the door and just start angling madly and also pressing X at the same time, then that tends to eventually get me through the door. Above, the chemist says it seems to consistently let you through right when the door starts to close. Yes, if I have the right angle, it does. It says maybe push forward and click the door closed if you don't want to wait for it. We could try that, yeah. I could definitely try closing the door. That might be correct. I didn't even know you could close the door, so that's excellent information. Alright, let's see. Where are we going? We want to blow stuff up on a forge, right? I think so. So we could come down here to the trade skill thing, and there's 3 different forges. I assume that they're listed in order of where they're at closest to, but that's an assumption that's probably not correct. It's a dream that I have. We scrounged up some morning dew. That's great. Morning dew and elvish, gnomish spirits, and make some elvish spirits, right? Morning dew. Where did it put the morning dew? I'm very curious. Is this the morning dew? It is. How odd. Will I drink it is the other question. I might drink it as soon as possible. I'm not sure. It may just disappear from my bags. Who knows? Alright. So here we are. And now, let's see here. What do we do? We type in, we want tarnished things. So, tarnished. I don't have a whole lot of the things right now, but I think it may be easier to just go through it like this. So, we made a tarnished bastard sword. Nice. Well, but make sure we got all that. Then we're gonna go with this tarnished broadsword. I'm auto inventorying these things, which makes life a little easier. It's strange to me that it switches where the sharpened stone is as you go down this list. And that's another thing I'll want to do before I leave Ogre, if I remember, is I want to have like a whole load of water flasks and also sharpening stones, because those are going to come into play for certain. Probably flour too, a cup of flour, because I'm not going to be able to buy things for a little while. And while I could probably get my compatriots to do it for me, it would be easier if I just came loaded up with it. Likely as not, I'll forget. I don't seem to have a pen around here where I would write it down. That would be a smart move, but we're not doing smart things today. Why do that, right? Okay, so now I think, what if I just type in parentheses open and then a T? Yes, that looks promising. So, let's see. What can I make? I can make a small brick of ore out of this. Let's go. Combine. We failed to make that brick of ore. Next. We got this one here. Alright, that worked. Auto inventory. Great. Okay. What else might I be able to throw together here? It's funny how it has a recipe for each item. You know, instead of just saying you can use any of these items to do it, it just has a list of every possible one you could make. I think I skipped that. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I think that's that. We've done what we could here. Make sure I got all the stuff. Okay, so interestingly, rusty knuckles is not on the list. I'm uncertain if that's something that will open up later, or if you just can't use the rusty knuckles to make anything. I'm not sure. So, let's see. We have the small brick of ore and the small piece of ore. Now you can put together pieces of ore to make bricks of ore, and you can put together bricks of ore, and I think eventually you can make sheets of metal with those, and then you can make other things from that. And I feel like you can break I want to say that you can break the bricks down into pieces of metal, but that might not be true. Let's see, piece of metal, maybe it's pieces of metal? Let's try pieces of metal. Something like that. I don't know, something. Okay, I can't just go back and yes, but I can click. Can't seem to move the cursor around here. Maybe it's metal pieces. I don't know. We're going to go with like it's metal bits. So I had it totally wrong. Metal bits. So you have to have 2 small pieces of ore, and you can make metal bits out of that. You also have to have the water flask. So, interesting. I apparently have 3 pieces of ore at the moment. Metal rings I hadn't even observed. So to make the sheet metal, you have to have 2 of the bricks of ore. Looks like I do have 3, so let's go ahead and give it a go. Hey, I made a piece of sheet metal. Nice. I'm not sure if I've ever succeeded in that yet. Yeah, for those, you have to have high quality stuff to start with. And so for a high quality one, you would need a piece of high quality ore. That makes sense, right? Gotta start with the good stuff to make the good stuff. Yeah, you have to have a smithy hammer to make the folded metal. That makes sense. And a block of ore. A block of ore must be larger than a brick of ore, one would think. Enchanted sheet metal, that's a thing. Well, you can have enchanted ore. Where does one get enchanted ore? Who knows? Who indeed? Oh, you know what? Somebody was telling me that at the higher levels of something, some of these crafting things, you have to have an enchanter help you. So that's interesting too. Good information that I had forgotten about for a little bit there. Yeah, let's try putting these pieces of ore in here so that they're out of the bigger bags. And then get a little inventory space going on. Alright. Now, of course, my food and drink situation is fairly abysmal still, but I have a little room in my bags, so that's gotta count for something, right? Alright, now. Trying to think if there's something else I should do immediately beyond trying to make it back to the banker. And in fact, I think that's what I will do. I'll go to the banker, throw these things into the trade skill depot so that I'm not full on stuff when I go there. If only I can click the right button. Very hard, you know, very hard. There we go. And now, banker's over there. Decided to have another look real quick at that because, you know, I'm crazy a little bit and it was there, so I needed to click it. Okay, onward. Guard Sunblade. Right there. You do definitely have to go kill some orcs before you come to Kelethin if you're an ogre or anything akin to an ogre. Let's try the clicking the door situation. If I just click it, hey, that worked. Now let's try going the other direction. What if we're going out? Can we just click it again this way? We can. Brilliant. Excellent above the chemist. Wonderful observation. So, you don't have to even angle the camera or anything. You just click the door. Wonderful. Alright, over to the banker. And go to the trade skill depot. And then let's try to throw in these items that we made. Get them out of the bags. Now we've got more room. And let's see if we can fit any of this in here. Excellent. Alright, now we're cooking with Crisco. Above the chemist says, yay, glad it worked. Me too, you have no idea. That's great. Yeah, I had no idea you could click the door. I should try to get on the correct side of the door. I did not know that you could click the door to do it. So you're just getting shoved out when it's facing inward, but I don't know why shutting it would let you go out. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's alright. Your ogre needs a little bit of incentive, I suppose. The door's closing, you gotta go now. Now notice, that is amazing. You can fall, and the amount of damage is negligible. Alright, so back to the grind of finding things to slaughter out here, with the goal in mind of basically getting supplies for either for crafting or for the aforementioned quest here. I suspect. Oh, I scratched up some fruit. Nice. I suspect that I'll drink the morning dew whenever I need to drink something. I'm not 100% sure. It feels like something that I would do. It also feels like morning dew isn't going to get my ogre very far. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, is it going to refill it also? We're at 359 at the moment, right? With that rusty rapier. Okay, so it is still refilling at the moment, so I have some kind of drink going on. I don't really know how to tell if my drink is running, other than the fact it's not sitting here telling me over and over that I'm out of drink. I'm also kind of thinking with the the orcs are maybe not necessary for me to kill, but do they give me, they do give me some faction with the Emerald Warriors, Faydark Champions, and Stormguard. So, it may still be a good idea to kill them, even though I'm not sure that it's, you know, I don't know that I'm going to be getting any pieces that I need, but I'm definitely getting some faction that I need, so that'll be probably a good thing. Definitely not in the right order, in the right area for these spiderlings, though. I'm wondering where those were. Maybe more to the north. And I probably have enough bone chips, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. At least for the quests that I need, because I feel like I need, I don't know, maybe 60 of each item? Something like that. Above the chemist says the detrimental effects might not begin until you start seeing the messages about being hungry and thirsty. I think that that's possibly true, because right now I'm gaining the mana back. Now it says I'm out of drink, but I think that maybe what happens is it doesn't say you're out of drink until you use the last one. And so you still have the effects of the last one for a little while, and then maybe you start losing those effects. At that point, of course, it also occurs to me that I'm not going to be able to forage until I'm level 12. So I'm questioning my decision of coming over here sooner than that when I hit live, because I think that the foraging part is going to be important to be able to keep my my stamina up. I'm not getting the messages over and over again about being out, and I see that I am still gaining the stamina, so I think our assessment is correct here. You get that message when you drink the last drink that's in your inventory, and then you have however long left after that. You know, it occurs to me I should probably not attack the fairy card here. I almost did, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that's a terrible idea. Alright. Got a rusty mace. It's gotta count for something, right? This looks like a rather large bat. What's going on with him? It's a giant sylvan bat. It's definitely giant. It's oversized. Now I got the out of drink message again. Above the chemist says, I might double check the morning dew. I'm not sure it's a drink. It might be a trade skill item. Well, I don't think it is a drink, because it's telling me I'm out of drink. It doesn't show any value, and it's definitely a trade skill item, because you can combine it with the gnomish spirits and create elvish spirits. We saw that earlier, but that doesn't mean that it's only a trade skill item. It might be. Stunned and out of drink. Huh. So I might be completely out of drink now, I'm not sure. I still see the thing going across. We're gonna, I think, it looks like, it's turned yellow. So, does that mean that I am still regaining power, just at a slower rate? We're gonna find out. Got some spiderling legs, let's sell that. And then we'll see. I'm just gonna, so far I'm definitely, okay, now it says I'm low on truth. Okay, so I must have harvested pods of water here. Alright, spiderling legs, let's get that. So I may actually be harvesting enough stuff to keep me going pretty decently in spite of using quite a bit of power. I'll keep it up, and then eventually when I run out of stamina, or when I run out, not just stamina, but dreams, you'll see what it does to the stamina. If it's complete standstill, or if I'm still regaining, but just at a lower rate of speed. Because that'll be good to know for sure once we hit live, right? Stunned. It's interesting. You can't try to forage while you're attacking, which I think makes a lot of sense. I think that if you're under attack and you're out there foraging, that may not be the best decision. Now that being said, I mean you could theoretically grab some food if you're being attacked. Say you're being attacked by a chihuahua, right? And you don't really care. I feel like you could still forage. It's maybe not the recommended thing to do, but I think it could be done. These are both warriors. Again, as far as such things go, warriors are one of the things you can pretty much slam continuously. If you, or whatever your interrupt spell is, you don't have to worry about holding it back, because the warriors so far at this level don't really cast anything. Another thing that I'll do while attacking is you can switch your target before the target is dead if you know, or you're pretty sure that what you're currently casting is going to kill the target that you're on. Then you can go ahead and switch to a new target before it's completely, you know, before it casts, and that way you can immediately start attacking the next target. So that's just a little tip. Okay, assume that I cast Tainted Breath on him, but I think I wasn't paying good enough attention to be certain of that. Now this one is a warrior and a witch doctor. Witch doctor implies that he's probably a healer, a caster, you know, so you want to definitely get him. Oh, Crushbone belts are another thing. Now, I don't know who we'd turn the Crushbone belts into, but I've heard that we can turn them in and get faction. Now, I've heard that we turn them into dwarves, but I've also heard that we turn them into fairies. Maybe you can turn them into either one. Not sure. I have not found the person who is taking the belts yet. Here we have a centurion running in. And we also have this witch doctor to contend with. Let's try taking out the witch doctor first. He is a shaman, by the way. And we know about shamans a little bit. I've put a dot on him that I think will finish him off, so I'm just moving on to the next target. And we're just gonna put dots on these guys, because for the most part, The dots are good enough. Looks like we might need a little bit more. These are level 6s. Also, I've got a bunch of motive and infinitesimal potentials that I've completely forgotten about. And I may as well use them on my spells. Let's move a little bit. Actually, I want to kill this spider first because I need those spidering eyes. Something fierce. Got 12 of them at the moment. What else do I need? What I need more than anything, it looks like, is the bat first. I suppose I should go hunting bats. Got interrupted. You believe it. Okay. Just come over here. This looks like a nice little hilly area. See about those incontestable potential motes. I can't tell in this view how many I have, which is a little unfortunate. I'm not sure what the deal is here, like why this is. It doesn't let me expand it, right? I can move that back and then we can see that we have 3. Is that what I have to do? Do I have to move these so that they all fit? Because the screen doesn't seem to want to expand. If anybody knows how to expand to this screen in this view, that would be phenomenal. But that's okay. We'll just make it smaller in this case. All right, now let's go ahead and withdraw all of these modes. So I clicked Shift in order to withdraw all of them at once. And then what we can do is we can come down here and hold we do Alt and left click, and then we can do Control and left click on the mote and put one mote right there. And then we can upgrade this spell, because Tainted Breath is one that I want to use more often, or as often as possible. And so we're going to try to upgrade it and make it a little bit better. It's the dot, and I do like a dot. Now I got the message that I'm low on drink. This implies to me that I just drank something and that I have 1 left. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I think. Now, what we've done here is Tainted Breath costs 4 less mana to use. It casts a little faster, every 2.3 seconds instead of 2.5. It recovers a little faster, 0.1 second faster. Reuse hasn't changed. It looks like it was 1 second, still is. I don't know if this was added. It says resist poison, -30. I don't know if that was added when it went to the next one or not. Above, the chemist said maybe right click at the top window. Let's go back over here. Storage, and we'll go to currencies. Right click at the top of the window and see if it gives the option for a resize of the window. Don't see any such option. Let's try display tabs. Okay, we could do default layout resizable. Now, if we do the default, isn't that going to change it? Is this currently considered this isn't the default window, I don't think. Maybe it is. Let's try it. Okay. Resizable. Let's see. Go over to currencies. It says it's resizable, but it's not resizing. Try to see if I have it locked. I don't have it locked. I'm not sensing any resizing here. It just I'm clicking, I drag, nothing happens. Other side, same thing. How about a corner? We go up and down. Okay, so it's resizable, but it's resizable up and down. Okay. Well, that's not exactly what I hoped for, but we'll keep it. I'm being reminded often that I'm low on drink. So we got some more spiders over here. Where exactly are we? We are northeast of Kelethin. Spiderling silk, nice. And now we have a spiderling eye. So we definitely want that. The other question is there any use for the spiderling eyes beyond this quest? I don't know. Good news about it is that the spiders are used for a lot of things. You can make, it's like spider leg crunchies or something like that. Frosted spider legs, I don't know. Probably frosted spider legs. And anyway, I think it's like a spider leg plus frosting, which I don't have any of. And then you can create some foods from it, basically. We should probably go in search of the wolves, since that's what I need more than anything is those burned wolf pelts. And I suspect, no, I'm really not sure actually what I've done with them, or maybe I just haven't gotten a lot of wolf pelts. Unfortunately, I don't have tracking yet. I think maybe I'm not quite high enough level for tracking. So I'm rethinking my initial thoughts on what I'm going to do on live. Because now I'm thinking, well, maybe I want to get up high enough to where I have foraging, and also it would be good to have piles of things such as the frosting and the water, things that you have to buy from merchants basically in order to craft with. Feels like it would be smart to have some up before I come to a place where I can't really use the merchants. However, that being said, there's not really a need for it, because all I have to do is be able to get over here. And then I can call back with the origins thing, and theoretically, if I've bound nearby, then it'll be easy enough. So as long as I have gate, which I think... I don't remember what level I got gate at. I think that was a shaman thing, right? And so it was at least level 10. Let's see if I can find the level on this thing. Okay, the shaman gets it at level 5. But I'm choosing shaman as my 3rd class. So... I won't get it to level 10. Maybe level 10 is a good time to make the move. I'm now out of drink, it says, which means it did not consume the morning dew as you predicted above the chemist. And it also, of course, did not consume the bottle of Kalish. Now, one question I have is, what exactly is the advantage of the alcohols if it doesn't help you with regenerating your power and stuff like that? Is there any kind of positive effect of it that we know of? Any reason to do that? Now, I mean, I can drink it, and it can get my alcohol tolerance up, right? But what is the purpose of that? Is there a long-term purpose? I know that in EverQuest 2, you have alcohol tolerance, and for a very long time, it was completely useless. I got mine up pretty high on my dwarf compared to most people, because I just thought that the dwarf really ought to have a high alcohol tolerance, being a dwarf. And so I worked on her alcohol tolerance, and I happened to have this keg of everlasting brew that I'd gotten from an event. And so I could regularly take a sip, and I put that in the guild hall at the time, so that every time I thought of it, I'd go and have a sip of the brew there from that keg, just to build that up. And then it finally came into play when they made a zone with a boss on it, and you had to drink alcohol in order to do that fight. And my dwarf was ready. She'd been waiting her whole life for that. So that was funny. She, of course, at that point wasn't in good gear or anything, but she could stay sober. It was pretty nice. Because in EverQuest 2, the higher your alcohol tolerance is, and of course, the less drunk you get. Well, we're definitely finding some wolves out here, which is nice. And some bats. Bats is what I need the most. And I think that these jar of honeys, I think it's interesting that the wasps are giving me honey. You would think they would be bees, or like the pixies, right? Pixies would make sense to give you honey. It's kind of odd to be getting it from wasps. Here in Texas, we have a lot of wasps, and I don't see any honey from them. These forest drakelings are abundant as well. Okay, now we're low on drink, but we're not out of drink yet. Getting close, I think. Getting a little bit better at being able to judge where these guys are as far as if they're in front of me, and how close they are, and if they're in melee range, things like that. And again, also what level they're on, because if they are at a different altitude, you can end up trying to hit them and failing terribly to do so. Sometimes you sit there and try to chase them down, and it's very difficult to hit them. And they go through trees until you see them. It's another trick. They appear to stop at the trees, but it turns out no. They've not stopped. They're going on through. They just are giving the visual of having stopped. So far, I've only gotten low on drink. I have yet to run out of drink, I think, in a sufficient manner to be like completely out and I have nothing more to drink. I think whenever it starts doing it every minute, saying you're out of drink every minute, that might be the point at which you've actually run out of drink and need some. Noticed that I got another mode of infinitesimal potential, which I feel like I should take advantage of that, probably, and to put it on my tainted breath. I don't know how long you can continue to use those to level up your spells, but I think that you need to go in order of your lowest quality motes to highest quality so that you can take advantage of all of the things that you have drop, right? Got a spiderling eye. What's this? This is spiderling eye. So sell those. I don't necessarily want to auto sell them. but I want to sell them for now because of the fact that I don't have, you know, as much leeway with the merchants as I would like, so. Definitely still gaining mana back. Speaking of mana, for those who play Magic the Gathering out there, I did a draft on Saturday, and it was hilarious. I did a 5-color deck in draft, and we were drafting, let's see, we were drafting something. We were drafting Murders of Carlo Manor. That's what we were doing, and it was very, very interesting. It was pretty decent, actually, 5-color deck. It did it kind of as a joke because I got one of those cases that in order to solve it, you had to have one permanent of each color type, or one type of each. One of each color on permanents that you had anyway. And so I ended up going with that, and then getting a lot of multicolor guys in the deck, and of course a lot of ways to fetch lands, and it was pretty fun. And I was surprised that it did as well as it did. I ended up going with 16 land, and still managed to do well. There were quite a few ways that you could make mana of any color, and so I was grabbing all of those, and of course, you know, with I got the first pick basically from those because in a draft you end up with a lot of things that are multicolored in the pool, and I didn't need to grab those first because the odds of someone going those exact colors in my pod were not exactly great. So leave the multicolored guys, you know, off the first pass and let it come back around. So it was very effective and did pretty well. I did surprisingly well. I was laughing the whole time. It's just like, okay, this is very unlikely to work, but give it a go. It's gonna be fun. It was. I told my fellow drafters I'm probably going to have more fun in the drafting portion of this than in the playing portion, but we're going to see what happens. But yeah, it was definitely fun. Did not quite win the tournament, but I did pretty well. Better than expected by far. And actually, there was a new guy who had never played before in a draft, did not know how to draft. He barely plays the game, and he did much better than expected too. He didn't win any matches, but he did win at least one game that I know of, which is really good considering he didn't know how to, how the turn order worked very well and things like that. So we were kind of having to tell him, hey, untap, don't forget to draw, things like that. But so overall, he did very well. I think I'm going to use this mode of infinitesimal potentials again that I've had dropping here. Try to get some more of this bat fur first. The bat fur seems to be fairly rare. Or something. Drops from bats in general seem to be fairly rare. And a bat wing from that one. Sometimes. Well, okay, I guess fairly regularly I still do some fizzling and whatnot. That one was interrupted. I don't know what it got interrupted by. I've seen myself getting interrupted now and then. medium quality wolf skin. Let's auto store that. I don't know that I've run across a lot of wolves, or at least that I've fought a lot of wolves in the game yet, really. I'm piling up on some fruit, and I've gotten a couple of pods of water, so I'm doing well in that regard. This foraging thing is pretty good. I do approve of it. Now, my understanding is that it caps out for the shaman, or for the bard rather, at some point, prior to being completely like max tier foraging that anything can do. I did notice that you can get foraging in your AA though, and I don't know if that, I don't know how far that goes up. It says this passive ability increases your forage skill cap by 50 points. So that's cool. So no matter what your skill cap is, it increases it by 50. Kind of like that. I don't know if I'll end up wanting to do it. Can we change our AA at any point? There's a button that says reset. No, it says reset filters. So is there any way to take back what you've done? And I think that that's extremely important, because when you change a loadout, do you get a new, like, do you get to redo your AAs as well? I'm uncertain. I don't know how that works. Yeah, I'm really not sure. Questions, questions must be answers. Elcaro 1101 says there's not a way to refund AA current. See, that's interesting, because what if you switch to a different loadout, but it really kind of requires different kind of AA than what you had chosen initially? Now that seems a little interesting, unless each loadout chooses different AA. It's not been my experience with changing, but then again, all I've done is add one, so I'm not really sure. Now, I'm being attacked by a fairy duchess, which was not in the plans. I'm pretty sure, no, I don't want to kill the fairy duchess, because I feel like even if I kill her, she's level 19. Would I kill her? Who knows? But even if I kill her, maybe I better go to Felwith. She would probably give me negative faction with stuff. And that's the opposite of the plan. So I'm going to try to run her off, and I think that that's going to work most likely, because she's not really doing me any damage right now. That's the way I like it. I don't think that the guards will attack me, but I guess we'll find out. They might, because I'm being attacked by the fairy duchess. Who knows? Doesn't look like it, though. Excellent. This is looking fine. Never been to Felwith yet. I don't think. Entering northern Felwith. Let's just poke our heads in here. Now, will these guys attack me? Instructed potential? No. How about these guards? No? It's like I'm safe here. Adventuring supplies guy? He deals with me. How nice. Alright, cool. I don't know that I necessarily want to buy anything at the moment. He does have a lot of things to sell. It appears that many people have sold him many things. I kind of like the ability to get chunks of meat. That seems nice. There's some other things that maybe I want. For cooking purposes, and some rat ears. Well, alright. Might need some of those. All kinds of goodness here. Gosh, who knew? Rusty things you could buy. There's some of that royal jelly. 2 gold and 5 silver. Ha! You mad. You mad. Alright, sylvan berries. What are those? I don't know. Feels like they could be used in trade skilling to me. Okay. Okay, cool. This is a good place to come for this sort of thing, looks like. But the question is, Does he have anything I need? Any spiderling eyes? No spiderling eyes. How about some ruined wolf pelts? Does. He has a lot of ruined wolf pelts, and they're cheap, relatively speaking. So what if I click shift and buy them all? That worked. Alright, cool. How about some... I already have a lot of bone chips. Don't really need those. Do need bat fur. No bat fur. Sad days. 0 bat fur. Got the wolf pelts. I think, didn't I run wolf pelt? Let's make sure. Okay, so looking at this, I would still need a lot of wolf pelts, still need a lot of spiderling eyes. The bone chips, I think I have a bunch in the bank that I could pull out. The bat fur is your real sticking point. Got a bit of a problem with that bat fur. Alright. Seem to have no problem here, though. Everybody thinks I'm great. What's this? I can even walk through their doors. Look at that. Paladin Guildmaster. What does he have? Oh, he doesn't love me. That's a shame. What about the weapons guy? Will he sell to me? Nah, he doesn't like me. Okay, so maybe it's just the dude at the front who's okay with it. He doesn't mind ogres. He sees a lot of ogres, probably. Where are we now? What is this? What is this? Is this spell with proper? Maybe. Maybe I don't quite want to go in here right now. I think this is going to probably be the same situation as Kelethin, where there's just not really a lot of things I can do in there. Oh, El Caro says, faction is a bit different on this server, but in normal EQ it's a fun game of learning friends and foe. Usually, any ogre would be killed on sight here. Ah, well, the only reason that I'm not is because I've killed so many orcs in Crushbone Keep. Can tell what will attack you by using the consider function. Yes, this is true. Also here on EQL, there are icons above their heads. Oh, really? 1 sword or 2 cross swords will attack you on sight. That is very excellent. I did not notice ever. I'm very non-visual, and I've not seen swords. Do they look like actual, or they... Okay, so I see... I see greater than and less than signs. I'll have to look around, see what I can get into there. But maybe not right here. Let's come out of here, and at some point definitely need to look into that. Scratched up some vegetables, heck yeah. Everybody needs more vegetables in their life, right? I actually made a dish for my friend last night that my mother used to make when I was a child. And I don't know if you guys have ever had this or not, but basically it's very weird. You get Fritos and lettuce, ranch style beans, tomatoes, and then like French style dressing, or you can use Catalina dressing. And you mix all that together, and it is much better than you might think. And it's you know, you get a little bit of vegetables, you get some chips as well, and also a little bit of cheese. I threw in. It's quite tasty. If you haven't had it before, you might try it. We used to eat it semi-regularly when I was a child. I won't say regularly, but once in a while we would have that. And it's not something that I've really seen other people do, so give that a try if you haven't before. El Caro says that the icons seem to be on non-static spawns. Creatures out in the wild or in dungeons. These guards and vendors are static, so they won't show those icons. Ah, what a shame. Ricardo says, do this and lower, they won't interact with you. Yeah. Need indifferent or higher for vendors, quest people, etc. Yeah. Well, yeah. I think that's unfortunate but true. They don't love ogres, you know? Like just almost across the board, ogre love is just not there. It's a shame. I mean, really, who wouldn't love an ogre? Absolutely lovely. Scrounged up some roots, heck yeah. I accidentally moved while I was casting, and it didn't look like it interrupted, but then at the end of it, it clearly did interrupt. If only we needed more black wolf skins. That's interesting. It's interesting. We get the black wolf skins, but not the ruined wolf pelt. I definitely don't want to attack the fairies. Pretty sure the fairies are on the side of the good people. Apparently, that one did not appreciate me targeting it. Did I do something? I don't know. Possibly. But I don't want to kill it, so I'm just going to continue running and I'm going to just try to ignore it. And head toward Butcherblock. Now see, in EverQuest 2, you can get to Steamfont from Butcherblock. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of clockwork stuff over in Steamfont. And for some reason, I think I need to go there for something. Like there's a quest or something. I don't know. There was somebody maybe in Crushbone. For some reason, and maybe Arendi had told me something about it. I don't know. I have some vague idea that I ought to go to Steamfont Mountains. And I have the hope that Steamfont Mountains may be accessed through Butcherblock Mountains. If it is as it is in EverQuest 2. I'm not sure about it. The fairy courtier has caught me. I don't care. Ignore me. I don't think it can actually hurt me, so no consequence. It's of some consequence. It's part of the reason that I'm going to Butcherblock. But it's not of much consequence. And I think that at this point, I have enough faction with the Kelethin people from killing all those Crushbone folks. Oh, El Caro says different route in EQ1. You know what I could do? I can use this zone guide. Greater Faydark and then Lesser Faydark and then Steamfont. Okay. You know what? That may be the way. Yeah, and I think there's an access point from Lesser Faydark in EverQuest 2 as well. And don't quote me on that. I think maybe. I actually don't spend much time in Fadewar in general. In my EverQuest experience at all, because it's just not okay. I see what it is. It's that X on top of it. Is that swords? Is that what you're telling me? That's cross swords? It looked like an X to me. So that's why it attacked me. It wasn't because I targeted it. It's because it noticed me. It was like, oh, an ogre. Kill it. Yuck. Gotcha. Now I wonder, are the Faydrake hatchlings also faction-oriented? I don't know. I will not kill it. I'll also not go back to Butcherblock right now. What is this? A brownie scout. Now, are brownies, are they bad or good here? Like, are they gonna? Let's get one. Let's see what happens. Is it going to mess with my faction? It probably is. Let's do it. El says, yep, 2 swords equals scowls if you consider 1 sword equals threatening. Alright, let's see. Did we get any faction hits? It doesn't look like it. We were able to kill the Brownie unmolested. And we got some Brownie parts. Nice. Let's store those. Store. Okaro says faction hits are very minor on anything this level non-boss. Nice. That's very good. Above the chemist says, yep, that's the color and sight symbol. The fairies might not like you due to deity choice. I think I went agnostic. Pretty sure I did. I was going to go Khazad-dûl, but I think I ended up doing agnostic. Yes, deity is agnostic. Hikaru says, so you can kill something and be able to repair by killing something else pretty quick. Nice. I know that the Guktons hate me, and I thought it was because I had killed the Gukton tadpoles the first time around on the closed beta. But then I avoided doing that for the most part on this pre-order beta. And I found that the Guktons still hated me, and I went and looked at how badly they hated me. And it was so badly that I can say that on the closed beta, I definitely wasn't, the amount of damage that I did by killing those was fairly negligible. How about the Pixie Tricksters? Do they give faction hits? I don't know. Carlos says frogs just hate ogres. Yeah, I got that. Okay, so the Pixie Tricksters do not hit faction either. Interesting. Above the goodness says, never mind then. Yeah. It's tough. What is, it's another player. Riven the Paladin, Bard, Berserker, Range. Nice. Alright. It's Decay and Skeleton over there, but I don't want to get off track now before I hit Lesser Faydark over here. Alright, so we have a little rift in the mountains. We've got a ravine. Gorge. I don't know. What are we going to call this? It's not a valley, that's for sure. It's not a tunnel. Okaro says, I've kind of burned out a bit on the beta with the web coming. Yeah, no need to waste effort. Absolutely. No, I would say, if you're not doing the testing or else just getting the experiences in advance of the live, would be a thing for me, because I haven't, again, because I never did play EverQuest 1. This is all very new for me, even though I did the closed beta, I'm doing this pre-order beta, and so now I have a little bit of experience with what I'm doing. But even so, there's so much to learn that I feel like this is going to be a good way for me to pick up some of that. Alcaro says, good time to test class mixes. Definitely something you want to put saved effort into. Yes. Yeah, I agree in many ways. In this case, I'm just kind of messing around, trying to learn some things, trying to see what it'll take to get to where I need to be once live hits. And that's kind of the direction that I'm going with it. Oh, look at that. These guys don't like me one bit. What are they? They're level 100s, eh? That's absolutely terrible. Don't like that. There's 3 of them. They're miserable. We got a magician, a wizard, and a wizard. They just got me perma-stunned as far as I could tell. This is going extremely poorly. I could have healed and stuff, but I couldn't have healed too much because I was stunned pretty constantly. So, good information. These guys here, they hate ogres, absolutely. And you shouldn't run directly into them if possible as an ogre. Okaro says A plus, learning EQ, lore and mechanics, routes, etc. Yeah, it is a big world. And even though, like I said, I have done EverQuest 2 for many, many years, it's not the same thing. It's not even close to the same thing. Like, for instance, right now, I need to come over here, and this is just foreign to me. Having to go and load a spell set, right? And we go to buffs, and we got, okay, first of all, let me make sure that this one's saved as adventuring, because I would hate to not have that, correct there. Wonder why I have gate here. This is somewhat worrisome, but it's okay. Let's come back over here. We're going to load the spell set. I think I probably shouldn't have done that. That's okay. I'm going to load the buffs. And so having to like reload the buffs every time is very strange, and not having access to your adventuring bar during this process. So that puts you in a situation where you're not only vulnerable while you're doing this, and doing it in a place like this is not a good idea. So you're vulnerable while you switch two buffs, memorizing them, and then you have to cast them afterward. Now you're still vulnerable because not only do you not still have your buffs on, you also don't have your adventuring spells available to you during this process. So it's a little sketchy. Very strange, and then you've got to switch your bars out all the time. Every time you do that, you're sitting down, and things are more likely to attack you when you're sitting down than when you're not. So it's a whole different situation. Let's reload those adventuring ones. Let's see. Take Fape is here. It says hello, Gilliam. Alcaro says you can change one spell at a time. Also, yes, sort of, right? Because you have to have an open spell slot to be able to do that, right? Take Fape says what's on the menu for us viewers today. Oh, nothing specific. I'm just running around as usual, doing whatever comes to mind. And currently killing some spiders, and kind of halfway heading toward, I'm really not sure who, because I think vaguely that there's something here that I'm supposed to do in Steamfont. This is my first time to get to Steamfont, so wait, I'm not in Steamfont. I'm not quite there yet. Heading northeast to get over to Steamfont, I think. I just came from Greater Faydark, and popping over there, we'll see what happens. And also, just got killed. What are these guys? Oh, they're the guys who hate me. Yes, all right. We're gonna try to make it. Oh, it's not going well. Oh no. So Gognoggin was not one of the ones in the group before, but but he is this time. He's a warrior, and these guys are all level 100, so I can try to heal myself for what good it'll do, because they have me. Yeah, they had me rooted, and most of the time stunned as well. Well, that was fun. I suppose I'll sit and rebuff again. Let's spell set buffs. Okaro says, right-click on a buff slot will unmem the spell, sure. Then right-click again and can select a single spell. So if you do a single buff, etc., you can have your combat spells ready and redo only what's needed. That makes sense. Above, the chemist says I always keep a couple of emergency spells like root and as stun depending on class, and my buff loadouts in case I get attacked while buffing. Makes sense. Both of those things make sense. I should take those things in mind. I like the changing out. Well, okay. I like the idea of maybe keeping at least a heal on, and not changing it out. Or putting it as the last thing, maybe, that goes off. I don't know. Something like that. Makes some sense. Alright. I I feel like it didn't get everything on. Because it looks like I have um, 5 things here. And I have more than 5 things there. So, let's see. Did I get the dexterous aura? I did. How about the spirit of bear? Yes. Spirit of snake? Yes. I'm pretty sure I have the spirit of wolf. Alright, so I might be missing spirit sight. Do have spirit sight. How about strengthening? Alright, missing strengthen. Let's put that on. Okay. It did not help me against the level 100s, surprisingly. So now let's load our adventuring set. Karo says, right click on an empty spell slot, you can see your gnome spells menu. Yes. That is true. Take Pape says, what are you sipping on? It is Dr. Pepper at the moment. We're gonna try to head up to Steamfont Mountains over here. Yeah, it's a problem I have. I forget to drink enough. And that's actually something that I do all the time. But whenever I'm streaming, I spend a lot more time talking. I mean, I talk all the time, but I talk more when I'm streaming, and then should be drinking more often and often forget to. Now, let's try to not go toward that village and get their attention. Hopefully. And even if I did get too close, maybe we're moving along fast enough that we won't get hit. The ogre shuffle. I remembered to cast the boots right before I zoned. Brilliant. Okay, we made it through. Now we're in Steamfont Mountains. What do we have here? Who knows? What level zone is this? Who knows? All of these are questions. Oh, no answers. I've completed the achievement Steamfont Mountains Traveler. Let's see. Got some kobolds here. Wonder what that gives me faction with, if anything. No faction change. We got a belt pouch. Nice. Belt pouches are always welcome. But, interesting. How about a gnome skeleton? What does that do? Let us find out. Apparently nothing. We didn't get anything from it. And also didn't get any faction change. So none of these things thus far have given faction. And, interesting. Alright, we got some scrap metal. That seems nice. And a size 4 gizmo. Now, I wonder if these are used in trade skilling at all. It looks like not, because the auto store is not on here. I will click it anyway, and then I'll click loot. What it implies is that it would go into my, Crag Warrior. See, he's got double, swords. He's gonna attack me as a goblin. Looks like a goblin. Is it an aviac? It's an aviac, right? Hold on, let's zoom in here. That's an aviac. Alright, cool. Alright, but that makes sense. Crag, right? Crag plume. Alright, cool. I feel like I had been saying something and since forgotten what it was. Alright, so we did get some faction change here. So adjusted by -10 with Crag and by +5 with Stormguard. Now I think Stormguard might be the guys like the dwarfs in Kelethin, right? Not 100% sure. I don't know what okay, so killing that actually gave me a little bad faction with the defective clockworks. I feel like that sounds like a group that probably already have bad faction with just by existing. But I'm not sure. Carl says if you mouse over the item, it will show the uses of its. So that's kind of halfway true, and then a lot of times it isn't true. Like it doesn't give you a lot of information. It doesn't always tell you if it's like for instance if it's a trade skill item. I don't really see that often. Quest item does show up. Let's merge this. Probably let's see what it is first. Cloth wristband, yeah, let's auto merge. All right, but like okay, so we know that this is a food, right? But it's also a trade skill item. And if we do the alt over here, it doesn't tell us any of that, right? So it says class all, race all, size small, weight 0.8, value absolutely nothing. So it doesn't tell us that it's a food. It doesn't tell us that it's a trade skill item. It doesn't tell us anything like that. So yeah, it's like almost everything is that way. Like if I come over here to this, it's vegetables. Now I know that I can eat it, and I know that it's a trade skill item because of just experiencing this game. But like, it tells us nothing about it, and even like the foods, it doesn't tell us what they do. So you go over here, and it doesn't even. First of all, it doesn't even tell you that it's food. And some of this stuff is just straight up food. Like this is edible goo. It doesn't tell you. Like I made this, but it doesn't. It tells you that it's a quest item. I don't know what it's a quest item for, but for something. But it doesn't tell you that it's a food, and it doesn't like they're supposed to say things like the initial things that they gave you said this is a hearty meal or something like that. But none of the food that I've made tells what kind of a meal it is, or even that it is a meal, or if it's a snack or whatever. Like whatever it would otherwise say, it does not tell us in this so far. And I don't know if that's something that's going to change by the time live comes out or not, but at the moment that's the situation. So I can't, like, I don't know which foods are better than others. When you go to make them, you have no idea what you're doing. It's just like, oh, here's a food, who knows what it does. You have no idea. Hey, a level, how crazy. Who knew? Made level 13. Now, what did that open up, I wonder, in the way of skills? Let's go check the skills. I find that it doesn't tell you or give any indication whatsoever whenever your skills go up, just in general. Not when they go up, but when you get a new one. So, thus far, I see. I keep forgetting to disarm things. I should definitely do that more often. And maybe I need to, I don't know, maybe I need to put that onto a button as well, one of my movement keys or something, just so that it goes off periodically. Trying to see if we have anything new that I can find. The foraging is still at 55. I think it already was. I don't know if my foraging will go up with levels or not. I would think that it would. If it doesn't, then maybe my only option is using the AA points to make it go up. Intimidation is there. It's not new. It's on the same button as the disarm, just to try to get those skills up. And I should be doing it on the random things that we're fighting out here, but I haven't been. So it doesn't look like I got anything new for that level as far as the skills go. I may have something new. I probably have something new as far as the spells go. Yes. I don't think that I've seen this. Brusco's boastful bellowing, although apparently I got it last level. Okay. Causes 7 damage to your opponent. That's not very much. I wonder, okay. It's a single target thing, range of 100. Cast is 3 seconds. It's reflectable. I don't know about that one. Interesting. So then we have root. Root is very good. And could go, like if I move gate off of here, which I think is a good idea, I would actually want to move everything around, really. But I'm forgetting to attack by that skeleton. Maybe not. but I do want to have it. I don't necessarily want to move everything around right now, so for the moment, I'm just going to stick it right there. We got Purifying Rhythms, and that was one that we actually got this level, so I just didn't check them last level, obviously. Purifying Rhythms offers your group protection from poison, disease, and magic. So that sounds like one that ought to be down there, too. Yes. That's one that would go off with Symphonic Aura, and you can't cast it otherwise. So I would have to replace something with that. We've got Walking Sleep, inflicts your target with a listless fever, slowing their attack rate for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I was using that on closed beta as well. Very nice spell. So I'll have to think on that and decide what I want to remove from my spell bar, and in order to put some of that stuff on there. Certainly Walking Sleep is a good one. So with the root, what you do is obviously do like so, you root it, and then you can start your dots. And in EverQuest 2, it seems to work the same as in this game, or vice versa, however you want to look at that. Because if you start with a dot, that's always been best. For me, you root it and you dot it. Every time it takes damage, it has a chance to break. And it seems like the more damage it takes, the more likely it is to break. And so you start it with a dot, which does just a little bit of damage over time, and that way you have less chance of it breaking before your bigger hit. And then you've got the dot on it. Seems to be the same way here. Again, if that is not correct, be sure to let me know, because I'm just seeing what I'm observing. El Caro says, slow is one of the main jobs for the shaman class. Big debuff for his high-end versions of the spell line are critical for a lot of classic key boss fights. Great for saving healers. Man, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, anything that slows the attack, which is what that one did, that we were just looking at, this Walking Sleep, is very good. And especially when you hit a rogue with it, it really, really decreases the DPS significantly. So any high DPS melee class is very, very good. Alright, we got scrap metal. So we're gonna click loot on this. This one is a size 4 gizmo, and this one's a size 5 gizmo. Now I've already done auto store on that one. Let's do it on this one. And then loot. I don't know exactly what those are for. Maybe we turn those in for some kind of faction quest in Steamfont Mountains. I don't know. It would make some sense. It looks to me like we probably need to be heading this way and down to the south, this darker orange path, perhaps. Now in EverQuest 2, you got to kind of climb the mountain to get into Steamfont, and I don't know if that's the case here or not. To get into the city, if you want to call it a city, it's not exactly a city. It's city-esque. The other question is, are they going to attack me? Let's click the C button. It says he glares at me threateningly. That doesn't bode well at all. So I think I won't go that direction quite yet. I wonder what it is that I need to kill in order to get my faction up with these guys. Kobolds? Maybe? No, kobolds didn't do anything. Don't know. We're gonna root this guy and knock him out anyway. Maybe goblins, who knows? If so, I'm not in the best place for that. We have here, it's a small box. Small boxes are always welcome. Yeah, let's just loot it. Definitely gonna run out of space, though. See if we can get some more of those spiderling eyes. I want this one to come a little bit closer, really, because it's so far away. But I suppose we've got to chase after it. Got an ebon drakeling there. You know what? I'm just gonna do this number here. We did get a spiraling eye. That's nice. Let's loot that. And then we have some spiraling legs I don't care for, so we'll sell those. I don't know what the spiraling legs are for. I'm sure they're probably good for something. But, well, not of much consequence to me at the moment, so. Rats, on the other hand, can give us some rat meat. And then we can make rat sandwiches, and that's one thing I would also need is some bread, for cooking. Sell those legs. And then what do we have here? We've got rat eye. I don't know what use that is. We'll sell it. We got rat whiskers. Yeah, we'll sell those. And then rat eye, another thing that I'm cool with selling. Perhaps I should head back toward Greater Faydark, since I don't really have what I came here for, which is the ability to go into Steamfont. I cannot think of what it's called, but the city here doesn't do much good for me, because I'm pretty sure maybe it's that I have something I'm supposed to turn into one of these guys, something like that. I know that it dropped in, or well, no, I don't know. I think that it dropped in Crushbone Keep, whatever it was. And I probably don't have it on my person anyway. I most likely put it in the bank. So, perhaps it was not the best idea to come here, other than just exploration, finding out what it all looks like. Still don't know how to get in to the area. I do want to check out the end of this path. Okay, we've got some watchmen guys. Threateningly is probably bad. This one also glares at me threateningly, but he's gray. Okay, alright. So we might could get around that. We might could get in there, but what good would it do? Guess we could go look. What's on the other side over here? We've got a mountain lion. Okay. So far, it doesn't look like anything is over on this set. So maybe that was just like a guard station there. To protect the area to the northeast? Maybe. That would make some sense, because it looks to me like the city is located to the south down here where all the guys are, right? I just got better at a bunch of stuff. I suppose because I recently leveled. That would make sense. Alright. Let's disarm him and all that too. Why not? Try to. Thus far, in all of closed beta, and in this, I have not managed to disarm anything. So, I should keep clicking the button. Here I haven't tried nearly enough, as you could see. My disarm was down. We got saltpeter, that's cool, and a small box. Let's see both of those. However, we are now filled up on things. One thing I would like to know is where I am currently gating to. Let's do /care. So, my bind point is in the Greater Faydark, and my origin location is, of course, in ogre. Now, as far as I know, there's no way to change your origin point. I wonder if you change classes, does that change your origin point? Change races, rather. I don't know how you change races, or if that's a thing that's been implemented yet, but if you're able to, does that also change your origin point? That is the question. Also occurs to me, I may as well switch to Berserker stance. So I'm not doing anything particularly difficult. Yeah, no room in, but we'll just sell that one. How about? How's about it? Alright, so I will go ahead and cast. Okay, first let's I suppose let's go ahead and save this one as my adventuring bar for now. And we'll come over here to this safety of the tree and load the buffs, because I think that might be, you know what, I don't think that is where I have my gate. I can add my gate there, there's not really a reason to, because it's not a buff. It would be the OOC that I would have it in, because that, in this instance, means out of combat, not out of character as you might otherwise think. Oddly, we're missing some things from this bar that was previously here, so I wonder how that happened. It's alright. We can, okay, hold on. I don't have to do that. I can come here and click Transport Miscellaneous Gate. There we are. Did it. Alright. So, now, let's gate over and go see what we can do. I can definitely, I can only turn in one of the of those quests, which wouldn't do much good, honestly. I think you have to do one set at a time. I don't think that you can put multiple things in the window. I've tried that in other areas, and it doesn't let you just load up, like, say, 50 of each item and then turn in. You've got to just one at a time do it. Alright, so here we are in the lovely Greater Faydark, on the way up to Kelethin. Alright. Wonderful. Now, what might I want to do? Probably first I should go by the bank and dump some of this stuff off. So find banker. Alright, let's go follow this. Oh hey, we got a pot of water, nice. Alright. So, I'm thinking that I drop off some of the trade skill items into the depot here, and that'll give me a little bit of room. And now that we know the amazing trick of shut the door, that helps tremendously. Over here to the banker, and what have we? Trade skill depot, and I think we got some cinnamon sticks, some vegetables, some roots. What else? Anything else? Let's throw the morning dew in there as well. And wonder if now bottle of bleach will not go in there, but the pods of water certainly will. I should have clicked shift before I did that, but that's alright. We got it there. Let's move those together and throw these fruits in there. Again, could have clicked shift in midlife a little easier. Didn't do it though. Cloth cape +1. I'll want to look and see if I can combine these things with anything, because I might have some already, in which case I could combine them and get rid of some of the things in the old bags here. Okay, let's see. For now though, we've got these. Okay, that's an orc hatchet. Rusty two-handed swords, rusty dagger, rusty rapier, and rusty mace. So those are all things I can either combine with what I already have or break down into ore. With a lot of meat, I notice. Okay. So I think we've thrown everything trade skill wise into this. Let's get out of here, go over to the Dragon Sword. And let's see, for instance, do I have a cloth cape? I do not. How's about a netted mantle? No such luck. Okay, tattered cloth sandals or tattered gloves? No, neither one. Probably I could pull some of this stuff out and sell it. It also occurs to me that I didn't check in here earlier for the rusty stuff, I guess. So pull that one out. Or if I did, maybe I didn't have it at the time. I don't know, something. I don't think that any of these things can go into the trade skill window, which is unfortunate. I have a large bag though, and that can go into the bank for sure. Actually, how big is a large bag? Large bag holds 6 things. That would be better than one of these small bags. Why don't I replace something with that? Let's move these 2 over here so that I can use the large bag and replace that small bag there, if possible. Did I do it? I think I did it. Yes. And the small bag, or the large bag rather, can hold large things. Makes it much, much superior to the small bag it replaced. Okay, let's see here. What else we got? You would think that a giant rat pelt could be used in trade skill. I don't know. Let's make sure that that's not the case. Okay, we've got a cloth wristband here. Let's take it out just in case I can combine it with something in the. Let's take the spell pouch out too. We can put it in the bank. So let's see if we can combine that with anything in the equipment slot, equipment storage. Okay, let's put these pouches in the bank so that they can hold more items. What's that? Is that a pad? Yeah, it's not a pouch. What am I doing? Where did the, well, I thought I had something. Yes, I did. Okay, there it is. The small bag. Alright. Now, do you want to check and see if the giant rat belt will go into the trade skill? Will not. So, we're going to put that back into the Dragon Sword. Alright. Now, we want to go to storage. Let's go to the equipment storage. And then, let's see if I have a cloth wristband. I do. So let's take that out and combine it with this one. Try to take up a little bit less space overall, you know? Seems like it makes some sense. Tonton Lagrosse says, "Good evening. I have a question about EQ Legends. Can you maintain songs while casting spells?" Yes. And does the melody macro work in this version as well? So the melody macro does occur, but I don't know that it's helpful because there's this thing called Symphonic Aura, and basically it auto-casts the first some number of spells from like the bottom toward the top. So it starts out with one spell you can do it with, but as you add AA, you get more. I think that's kind of a replacement from what I gather for melody. Just from what I understand. You can still use melody, but if you have a spell on your bar that you could cast with Symphonic Aura, then you can't cast it while Symphonic Aura is running. So you would have to, if you wanted to do that, you could disable Symphonic Aura with a macro and then you could cast Melody. And so I think that there would be a way that you could use Melody by just basically turning it on and off. So I don't know about this, but I think it's possible that you could make a macro that turns off Symphonic Aura, casts the spell, then turns Symphonic Aura back on so that your other stuff stays going. That'd be my guess. I haven't tried that yet. Alright, let's see here. We've got netted mantle. Let's check if we've got that on. Netted, nothing netted. How about tattered stuff? I do have a tattered cloth sandal, and I'll put one there. So let's take this one out and combine it with that one. Gotta get those tattered sandals in tip-top shape. Okay, we've got tattered gloves already checked, netted mantle we checked, cloth cape. No cloth cape. Okay, we've got over here, small cloth cap. No small cloth cap there. How's about a buckler? Just a regular buckler, nothing special about it. No, nothing doing there. So the only other thing is the Deathless slashed belt and the tattered belt. I don't have any tattered things, so that won't work. That is a rusty short sword, not just any short sword. Let's put the orc hatchet over here. Now I think everything over here is rusty, right? Looks correct. Alright, great. Don't think I have anything. Okay, the only rusty things I have left. Where are they? They're in the bank, obviously, right? I'm apparently using the rusty longsword with the Brand's blade, and I don't think that I should be. I feel like I have something better than that. In fact, I know that I do. I'll have to go through and check at some point, not necessarily at this moment for that. Okay, so let's shut that off and then see about these items. What do I need to combine? I've got rusty two-handed sword. I think I do need to do that. So I've got a +4 there, so let's pull this over and merge this. And in fact, even the these rusty things are better than those rusty things in my hands at the moment, because what I have on is ridiculous. And I don't know really why I've done such a thing. Rusty longsword? It's no good. Why even do I have that on? Okay. Okay, I just put that back. I don't have another rusty longsword, I don't think. So let's check on a rusty dagger. Do I have one of those over there? I do not. How's about a rusty rapier? Nope, not one over there. I do have a rusty mace I can combine this with. Okay, we got a rusty bastard sword here. Don't need that. And then the rusty short sword we can do this with. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do want to do that. I forgot for a moment if I did or not. I do. Alright, so we want to do it like so. And now, wonder, which of my things would actually be best to have on currently? Alright, this is rusty scimitar. Oh, I don't want to compare it to that. I know that it's not as good as that. Alright, let's try this again. This I want to compare to nothing, because I have nothing on. What am I talking about? Alright, let's just try putting the highest ranking thing I have on. Got a +5, +5, +5, +6. A mining pick? Sure. Let's put it on. Maybe I shouldn't put it on. If I put it on, it'll attune it. Maybe that's a bad idea. Okay, we'll just compare like this. Alright. Okay, so this is a primary, secondary slots. One-handed piercing. And 0.158 ratio. And one-handed. So far I'm liking the rusted battle axe +5. That was a two-hander there. Interesting. So yeah, I think the rusty battle axe is the better option out of those. What's this I've got up here? That's better. Enchanted fine steel rapier. That seems like a good choice. Alright. Grabbing that. I'm gonna put it on. Excellent. Alright, so back to this. I've got all my rusty stuff in one bag here. And we can go turn it into ore. I have a backpack over here that I didn't notice earlier. So let's go back to the trade skill depot. See if we can put some of these gears and such in there. No, can't do those gears. Not looking promising on the metal bits and gears. I have a small box that can go into the bank. That was some rabbit stuff. We got some saltpeter, that ought to go. Got another box, nice. Okay, alright, cool. Let's get out of there, and then we can throw these boxes in. Small box, what does a small box hold? It holds medium-sized things, and size cap is medium. It holds 8 things, that's cool. So, let's see if we can, open that up. And maybe we can put some of this in here. Not all of it, because certainly some of it is too large. Some of it goes in. Cool. Alright. So, one box. Let's put the second box in here. It's the same kind of thing. Medium holds medium things, etc. 8 slots. Okay, very good, very good. Now, with that in mind, do I want to throw these things into my boxes? That seems like a good idea, does it not? Or into, it doesn't have to be into the boxes, but into some of these bags. I can throw it in here and forget it exists, probably. That's melting. I may as well sell it, honestly, because I'm not, the server isn't going to last very much longer, so it would be a smart idea. So do that. But I don't know that I will. Giant scarab egg sac, for instance, probably can also hang out in the bank. Let's see, what else? We've got a sealed letter. I don't know if it's 2. We've got a tongue I don't know what to do with. Let's just throw those in there for now as well. Okay. Things are looking a little bit better in the old bags. Let's see. Okay, put this stuff down in here. Have a little more room. Okay. Looks alright. Will the cloak go in? No such luck. I suppose I could throw the bottle of Kalish in there, since I apparently can't consume it. Well, I can consume it. I just be drunk, and what's the purpose? I might do it anyway. Why not? Alright, great. Now, I think we'll go to the Probably the forge. Let's go to the forge first. So, use the boots to make this go a little less painfully. Alright, made it over to the forge. And now we can type in tarnished. We don't even have to type in the full word tarnished. And go through and find stuff that we can combine. And then we auto inventory. And you do that as many times as necessary to actually make your tarnished piece, which you'll see your number of that item go down to, in this case, to 0 if you succeed. And then you can move on to the next item. And this is a way that you can get your skills up and have some ore to work with to make other things, and also decrease the amount of inventory space that you need. And this works on the rusty items, rusty gear pieces that drop regularly. Alright, so we went through all of that, and then a trick to finding the things that can be turned into bricks of ore is you could do parentheses open and then a T, and then you can start going through it like this, you know? Combine and then auto inventory to make life easy. Make sure you don't miss anything, because if you're me, you might. And then, if you make enough pieces of ore, you can combine those into bricks of ore. Have enough bricks of ore, you can combine them into metal, I think. So, it makes less and less stuff in your inventory that will be useful to you for making pieces. All right. Let's see here. Brick. Do I have enough pieces to make a brick? Probably. We come down to here where it says small brick of ore and then the word from. Can't really see what it's from. Maybe I don't even need to do that. Maybe I'll just no. Can't expand it over there. Oh well. Anyway, regardless, you need 3 bricks to make, or 3 pieces to make 1 brick. And I do have 6 pieces, so let's combine it. And we'll do that a couple of times. You do need water as well. Let's see if you can make brick. We did it. Alright. And then we want to make metal from that. And primarily I want to make the sheet metal. So we have 4 total of the small bricks of ore. We're going to try to make 2 pieces of sheet metal, or at least 1 piece of sheet metal, ideally. And that worked both times. Very nice. So we got 2 sheets of sheet metal out of that experience. And we've used up a bunch of the rusty pieces of weapons, rusty weapons. And, you know, got the skill up a little bit. It's kind of a neat way to skill up. And of course, these will also be useful in making various things later. And we can throw it into the trade skill depot so that, again, this all takes up much less space that way. Okay, so got all that out of the way. I do want to see if I have the ingredients to make any drinks. I'm pretty sure that I do, because I have fruit at the very least. So let's go back over to the map. I'm going to find, because I just don't know my way around this place. I never seem to really learn it. We're going to go to the brewing barrel first and foremost, because making the drinks is more important to me than making the food at the moment. One thing you want to have a lot of before it comes here, ideally, would be bottles. And of course, at this point, I could do the thing where I call ogre, make stuff there, and then gate back over, because I sound of that ability. And apparently I did bind in Greater Faydark. So, it's unnecessary, really, for me to do this stuff over here. But it's what I'm doing at the moment. Alright, come over here. We're going to just search recipes. And then I'm going to go through and see which of them I can do. So, here we go. Don't have any bottles, so that cuts out my ability to make a lot of things. That's interesting. If only I had some fish. I could have gone and tried. I wonder if that kind of fish shows up in this area, or if it only shows up in certain areas, or how that works, you know? I wonder, too, I can't make the gnomish spirits, so I suppose this would have had to drop from something. I would imagine that the elven spirits are an alcohol. It's not terribly useful. I could make the berry juice or the fruit juice. Well, no, I can't make the berry juice. I only have one thing of berries, and I would need two. I could make the fruit juice, but I'm not really interested in doing that first. I want to check everything else first and see if I can do it, in case I need the berries as part of some other recipe. If I don't, then I can always go back and make the juice, the fruit juice. Above, the chemist says, Kelethin takes a long time to get to know. Yeah, absolutely. But I found that once I learned its layout, even coming back years later, I still remembered how to get around. Oh, well, that has never been my experience. I definitely have trouble with Kelethin. I've always had trouble with Kelethin in EverQuest 2. And I still can't get around Kelethin in EverQuest 2. I have to use the map for everything. But, you know, if you can, that's awesome. I can get around, like, Castle View Hamlet very well, in spite of the fact that they stopped having Castle View Hamlet in EverQuest 2 many, many, many years ago. But once they opened it back up on the servers that include it, I find that I run around there just fine. Willow Wood is easy. So basically, Kinos is easy for me, pretty much. Just in general. But Kelethin, I never did get the hang of Kelethin. So it looks like I do need to just use the fruit that I have to make some flasks of fruit juice. So that's what I have. That's what we can do. And look at that. So many of them. 5 of them. That's nice. Alright. I don't think I'd ever successfully made the fruit juice before. So I'm pretty happy about that. Alright. Very good. We just scrounged up a pot of water as well. And that'll definitely come in handy. I see that we just consumed one of the flasks of fruit juice right off the bat. Excellent. Alright. I think I'm good on that. Then the other place I want to go right now is the oven. So we'll end find, and we'll go find the oven. And see if there's any food that I might want to make. I think it's something about the platforms. It just doesn't really... Like, I need... if I don't have some visual differences that are pretty stark, then I need some signs. If there were words around... I know there are in the way of, like, goods, right? Things like that. But I would need, like, road signs, you know? That might help. Like, oh, well, you go down, you know... You go down Main Street and you take a left on First, you know? Something like that we could work with, but... This is, it's a little tricky for me, overall. You know what occurs to me, too, is I don't know if I had the personal people turned on. Surely I did, right? Yes, I had to, because I don't have the water flasks in my inventory otherwise. Okay, excellent. Alright. So, let's check stuff out. Can I make anything? That is the question. So many things require frosting, something of that nature. Lots of things need different kinds of meat that are specific kinds that I don't have. And then there's a lot of things that require bread. Now, I may as well make the edible goo because I don't think, okay, the rat hairs can be used to make sandwiches, I think, but I don't have any bread. And I don't know any way to make bread, which is kind of odd. You can make noodles if you have the eggs. I don't know that I have any eggs right now. I might, but I don't think I didn't kill any snakes while I was out and about. So I kind of doubt it. We're going to go through them just in case I killed something without realizing that I did it. There's also these omelets. I haven't made any omelets yet. I don't ever have any cheese. Not sure where to get cheese. I assume that you buy it, but I haven't seen it for sale. It feels like it would be expensive because cheese is expensive. Now I've gotten a bit of money stored up now that I've been out here and not really able to do anything with it. I do really want a pot. You can make a pot, but it's a whole long process and I would have to get my pottery skills up, I think. See, here's the rat ear sandwich. Okay, I don't have any jug of sauces either. No good. This doesn't work out at all. So it's looking to me like the edible goo is where it's at. Let's come back over here. Get us some edible goo going. I can only make one of them, but one is better than none. There we are. All done. Got my inventory in a little bit better position than it was, or condition, than it was previously. I have a little bit of a drink. Not gonna get me too far, but a bit. And I've got some more edible goo. I feel like we're gonna put the edible goo up here. There we go. That seems like the right choice. Alright. I think that's pretty decent. I could try this bottle of bleach. Maybe not yet. Feels like I should wait on. Let's see if I can beg from this guy. I'm too far away to get closer. Attempt at begging was unsuccessful. What a shame. It didn't even knock my skill up any. I wonder what my skill on begging is right now. Let's check. Go here, go to skills, and then let's go down to begging. My begging skills are bad. They're not terrible, but they're bad. 39 out of 65. And maybe someday I'll be able to beg. Who knows? Let's just keep trying. Alright. Okay. Now, I'm gonna have to take a break because I haven't eaten today and it is 2 p.m. So, I think I better run and be back. Hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be back later on today. It was a pleasure streaming with you guys, and hopefully I will see you later. If you're not following me yet, be sure to follow me so that you can turn on notifications. The next time I go live, you'll see that. So hopefully I'll see you all then. For now,